There is clearly another being living inside of Yuya then. That isn't just Yuto. We can clearly see there is some other kind of monster in there. And with that, bringing out a new kind of creature itself. The Odd Eyes Raging Dragon. It's been a while since I've talked to any about like Arc 5 for a while, so I do have to apologize about that. I just honestly been a while since I've actually seen a couple episodes and had time to actually just straight up and marathon some. And boy oh boy did we have some great stuff going into episode 125. Obviously with the conclusion that we already had with the Gladiator Beast dude, which I actually personally really enjoyed that fight. Glad to see a bunch of my boys in that, and definitely this whole fight that we've had with like what we got to see up there, like with Kurosaki got completely stomped out by these guys, and then alongside we're seeing that Yuya is now going against them, and even the fact that we had to have Yuto involved, which is now a special kind of like ability that like seemingly is going to be a lot more incorporated later on throughout the series. It seems like with like the last couple of duels I'd imagine that we're going to be getting. The thing is that like what we got to see is like when he was able to switch up with the Yuto is a lot like how it is in the manga, if anyone has seen that, where Yuya has the ability, he's already like got like both Yuri, Yugo, Yuto, like they're all inside of him already, and they're all like different kind of personalities, and he's able to actually do that by doing stuff like that, where he's like able to swap, and then they have different decks. So I'd imagine that's kind of like how he's going to get like around like some of these duels and all that, where it's like, oh, I'm going to use this person, or I'm going to use this card and all that. So I definitely feel like there's going to be like, and sometime in the future we are going to see like all of them fuse up together, like Yugo, Yuri, and like get all these creatures, and like clearly we're seeing that for a fact today, is that there's something else in there that made both Yuto and like them snap. And remember, like clearly when they all like reunited and all that, they were going crazy, and their dragons like were resonating with one another. And with this one as well, it's like even when that like piece of shit like professor tried to do like the parasite fusioner like right onto Yuya's like I went into his brain and tried to possess him, it's like no, it did not work at all. Like it just refused to do it any time whatsoever, because that was kind of interesting, where it's just like he snapped for a second, he's like, no, screw you, I'm gonna do this, and then immediately turns back for a second, he's like, what the hell happening, like, you know, what the hell's going on? And it's like, it's kind of like, you know, I think like Yuya's gonna be a little bit annoyed, where it's like he had to rely on that power to actually win like this duel, because he was going against both of them, and it was an unfair advantage going against like that when you got like this giant parasite queen that just like keeps getting so much power, and it's like it can't be destroyed because of these stupid parasite cards, and they just kept bringing him back, and it was up to the point where like these things were like popping out like Karibos, where there were just like 9 of them on the field, and it was absolutely nuts, like at the point and all that, like how many of these cards were going around the field, and it's just like you couldn't do much about it. It's like you got this protection with the trap cards, you got like the spells that's just multiplying them, you can't do like hardly anything about this stuff, and it was just like so aggravating at that point, until like, you know, we got to see like the professor like ticked off like Yuya when seeing like Serena, like, you know, and like Yuzo and all of them and all that, like they're all possessed, and it's just like he just had enough, and he snapped, and like both him and Yuto gave into like the darkness, and straight up summoned a brand new like Odd Eyes that we haven't seen before, and that's the Odd Eyes Raging Dragon, which this thing is absolutely goddamn nuts. I absolutely say like that, I absolutely adore the design and all that. It's like this rank 7, like it's such a powerful looking creature, and it's just like, it looks honestly straight up badass. Like I really love it, and it's like having 3,000 attack points, and immediately with his like XYZ ability is able to actually, when it like combined with the 2 powers together, you're able to actually take off 2 of the overlay units and actually destroy all other cards on the field, and it gains 200 attack points to each one. And it can attack twice alongside with this ability that its ability cannot be negated. So that's pretty goddamn ridiculous when you think about it. It's just saying like, oh, you can't get rid of like the parasite generator and parasite monsters and all that, and it's like you just keep and the parasite like plant is like double protected. It's like, no, but by the way, no other card can go against this. It's like, you know, like the only thing that can actually go against this thing is an effect card at that point. So like if you have like a battle fader, that's the kind of one of the only chances that you have to actually stop this card. Or if that is that if you got another card on the field, like you're saying, no, actually no, I can negate this using an effect. I did like the little effect that they had where it was like when he clearly was using the monster, you saw like the other like some of the image, this evil thing come in the face, and it was all this really nice hand-drawn effect where it's like you just saw this monstrous like kind of creature coming out there, and it was just such a goddamn like really cool design thing I really loved in this episode. Adding as well, I think the only thing I had a little pet peeve was that the whole duel that we was getting with like Yuri, his side of the duel and all that with Sora. I kind of actually wanted that to be an episode in itself, and actually because see a little bit of that, and we was clearly seeing like Yuri also using a different deck, using using like the ancient gear like stuff and like bringing in the ultimate ancient gear golem. I kind of actually like that was the kind of thing that he actually brought into the duel. Like really surprised that he didn't actually have to use his dragon on that one. Like that was a nice little thing, like on effect on that. And honestly, I think it was a really good episode, and we're now about to find out a lot more about what truly is going on with Yuya and the whole plans like there with like obviously with like what we got to see with Reiji's father. So I'm actually interested like later on in this episode, like next week's episode, what is going to be happening. And plus as well, I've already talked about like the brand new opening that we had, and talking about the ending itself. I like the ending. I think the ending's really nice and cute. Like it shows like a lot of the like happy times between the characters and show the little pairing things. I think it's honestly really nice, kind of like opening and ending. I thought it was a really nice sweet thing. Like you did get to see like, oh, this is what they're doing in their lives and all that, and it's just like it was a nice thing. And I did like the bit with Yuto like kind of hanging out with like Rudy, and it was just like, oh shit and all that. His brother Kurosaki's here, gonna fucking dip like that. It's like, yo, you hit him on my sister? I kind of like that was a nice little thing adding into it. So that, I thought this was a really solid episode. I really did enjoy it. I think the only like pet peeve I actually had with the episode itself was just mainly the fact that I actually wanted a little bit more of the actual like from what we got to see. I wanted the Yuri and Sora duel. I wanted a little bit more of that, but you know, even still and all that, I really did enjoy the episode. So let me know you guys in the comment section down below. What did you think about that one? But that's all for me. Thank you much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys though next time.